Hello and welcome everyone to BrackeenTV, where we are reviewing The Amazing Race. Uh, it was a wonderful episode. It's super late, so we're just going to jump right in. And again, we have our co host, Stephen A., who's joined us on the platform to review today's episode. And this was an interesting episode. They started off in Jordan, and this is one of the legs of the race that took a lot of planning, um, because not a lot of shows are taped in this particular location. Um, so this was kind of an inside, behind the scenes instance in order to move on to the next leg of the race. Of course, we know that the teams are competing for $1 million, and it appears that this round, in one of the legs of the race, the winning prize was $5,000. And we will get into who did what, when, why, where, and how. And I actually do have a little Twitter gossip about one of the teams. Actually, not even the team, it's just the person and what they went through during the experience on today. How you doing, Stephen A?
Hey, I'm hanging in there. It was good to see the episode. I think it was a filler episode, but we can agree to disagree on that one.
I totally agree. It was such a filler episode that I took to Twitter and did some digging and figure out some information uh, on one of the individuals that I'll break a little later on today. So I agree. It definitely felt like a filler episode. I think right off the top, I don't think the showrunners really utilized the location to its advantage. This was a super rare moment. It's Jordan. There's not too many scenes in which, or shows or movies that actually have access. My understanding, there were very few movies that were done there. Indiana Jones, um, and a few other adventure
They said
films. But
Indiana Jones and Star Wars
yes,
was the two that I remember.
yeah. So like they were pretty high dollar films, but I feel like they could have taken more advantage of what the location had to offer. But I mean, they usually do a pretty good job of that. In most episodes, it just felt like they were just in the middle of the desert the entire time. Although I understand the desert is kind of the thing, but I feel like there were more things to show.
Yeah, I mean, even with the challenges compared to where they were previously, I just think they're a little bit shortened, except for maybe one of the challenges, and was really wasn't as demanding or grueling as what we saw, previous. So it was cool. I love the location. I think they put a lot into the train ride and then coming out the scene from Arabian Nights. I thought that was cool. And I really, what had this build up about what this could become. And for me, it just felt like a big letdown
Hmm.
in terms of what it could have been to versus what it was.
And who knows? Maybe they just felt like that the beginning introduction was like the focus, and then they were like, "Oh wait, we didn't plan the rest of the show." So somebody just find some Campbells and yeah, let's just do a puzzle and call it a day.
Yeah, it was just so I thought, even going inside the tombs, maybe they couldn't, or at least exploring more of the ancient cities. I don't know what the restrictions were, but I thought the challenges itself, to take a metal detector, to go across the sand. I was like, that's it. I mean, like, it wasn't. You go back to breaking the sculptures and like rolling the barrels. In the first episode, you see that, and then you see this one. It's like, how they go from that to? I felt like it was very low level challenges this time around.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I felt like in a lot of the scenes that actually, you know what? One thing that was positive for me in this episode was the highlighting of the teams themselves. I felt like I really got to know quite a bit of the other half of the group, the silent half. There's still a few groups that are kind of just squeaking by a little bit, but I felt like I got to know a few of the couples and the teams a lot better this time. And I like the way that they kind of broke the two groups in half. There were like two groups. And I also appreciated uh, their highlighting of who was in what place. Because the last few episodes, we were still trying to really figure out who was in the lead and who wasn't, and so on.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, I know you're going to talk about it later, but there were some, people that surprised me this time around, but I felt like they were also due as well. Like, hey, you know what? You had to show up at some point, and you finally picked the right episode to do it, which I was impressed by. But that one person had to redeem, himself or herself,
Yeah.
to actually let them know, like, I'm not dead weight. I can show you what I can do, and a moment came, and they did the thing. I can't, and my hat's on to them on that one.
Yeah, let's just get right into it. Actually, um, I would love to highlight the teams and who did what, when, where, why, and how. We clearly know that last week Rich and Dom were eliminated. Um, I felt like they were a big letdown for me, but your prediction was that they were not going to last long. So there we go. Uh, Obviously, that was first
Oh,
week.
real quick, did you check to see how many views or how many, ticket sales for their motivational classes? How many people signed up for it? I need to know.
Look, once they're off the show, they're done with me. So yeah, I may check in on Rex Ryan every now and then, though.
Well, Rex on ESPN every morning, so you can always catch it.
Exactly. Okay, so Abby and Will, oh my, they kind of showed a lot of frustration throughout the puzzle search. Abby in particular, she was losing it. And this was like the first episode that they really kind of showed up as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I think that for them, they don't want to be in the middle of the pack like that. They're trying to find a way to break away, and now things are getting tighter, so people can now start to feel the pressure. And so one bad mistake can be the difference between first and being eliminated.
Hmm.
And so, but hey, they got through it. I think they came in fourth, fourth out of ninth. They're still running, and they're still racing for another day. So, at this point, it's hot. Listen, compared to being in the desert that time of day, she was
Yeah,
just over it. So I ain't mad at her for cracking. But you could definitely feel the pressure mounting as the season goes along.
absolutely. And then we have our next team, Aubrey
Hey,
and David.
what they say? Name and claim it.
That's them. That's right. Yeah.
Hey, listen. I never liked that motto, but when they said they were manifesting it, talking about how
Oh, I
last
think
night.
we're getting them mixed up.
What? Oh, they came in. Oh,
Aubrey and David just made it. Like they just made it in.
oh,
Yeah.
and they got the puzzle wrong.
Exactly.
See, I'm
But they
not
were
invested. I'm not invested. Whatever. I'm not invested. They got the puzzle wrong, but I'm not just going to show I'm not really invested in them like that.
Yeah, no, David was having a really hard time. He was like on the outskirts using the metal detector, but actually it turns out that he wasn't too far off from one of the pieces. So, you know, I'm going to get to the meat of what I want to talk about these sideline things, and Aubrey was one of them that was like on the sideline, kind of talking badly about people's decisions as to why they were doing whatever they were doing. But anyway, they just made it. They just made it. I think they're gone the next episode, by the way. That's my first prediction.
Nope.
Oh, you still want Glenda out?
She gonna end up fighting Luwamba. I'm telling you that right now.
Derek and Claire. Look, now this is the team that I've been pretty consistent about concerning around their strategy. Like, they are always thinking ahead. There's another group that does that too, but we'll get to them in a second. But between Derek and Claire, and I love how Claire keeps taking credit for Derek's masterminding of certain scenes.
Listen, when Derek, found that puzzle piece quick, I mean, he was one of the first ones in and out. And then when Claire was talking about the puzzle, and that's like her job now, like to really retain information and processes, and how she really breathes through that puzzle. Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. I was very impressed, with that. So it's unfortunate she fell at the end. And I knew something was up because as they were doing the interviews, like during the challenge part, you could see that big hole in her pants. And I'm like, does she know that she's bleeding? Like, that's blood there. How did that happen? And then to see it, it was like, oh, if they got to get into a foot race with somebody, they ain't winning that one.
Right. And honestly, I didn't really want them to win that leg anyway, because they already won a prize, I think. So it's just nice to kind of spread the wealth.
It literally spread the wealth.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't get a better prize than that. Look, I'll take 5,000. I'll take it.
I ain't gonna hold you, dude. I can't have an option. I'd be like, why I gotta go to Sydney, Australia? All right, I want to go there. Can I just get the cash value of what that trip was going to be?
That's right.
Can you at least have that option?
That's right.
I'd rather have the cash than give me a trip that I really don't want to go on in the first place.
Right. And actually, this prize reinforces the fact that I really, truly don't think they fully planned out this episode. They put in so much in that beginning scene that they were just like, you know what, let's just give them cash this time.
And you know what? Cash is always king.
Yeah.
So you could never go wrong with cash.
That's right.
Now, real quick, I know me and you both married, and we got significant others. Real talk though, if you and your spouse was on the show and y'all won that leg, and Phil says y'all getting $5,000, are you going to split that money right down the middle, or are you going to try to piecemeal as to who gets what?
Oh no, we're splitting that. Look, there's no arguments. Hey, look, you get your half, I get mine.
Although we have to start deducting. I wanted to do this. You wanted to do that. I had to do this challenge. You ain't really helped.
Oh, that's hilarious. So you are
that 5,000 may not be completely even. We may have to talk about who really gets what here.
That's hilarious. Look, I'm not trying to get in trouble, so we'll split it down the middle. And who knows? She might have been the one kind of beating us out, so maybe the one holding us up. I don't know.
I'll have to. And listen, if I was a dead weight on the leg, I would have no problem saying, you know what, you deserve the money. You go ahead and take it.
Oh
but
no! Oh no!
If I had to carry you, oh no, you best believe. When I get that check after taxes, most that's going to be.
So then we have the team of sisters. They I think the first challenge they actually did pretty well. Although one of them was hurt.
Yeah, something going on with their thigh, couldn't really run. But I think that for them, it was just sometimes you could be just emotionally tired,
That's true.
and that's really what I saw out of them because they put a lot to try to stay with the brothers, even from last episode. And sometimes it's hard to try to keep that momentum going. So, hey, some legs you just got to get through, and they got through this one. I think they took what, fifth, so that's not bad. They got through it. You know, hey, they know what it takes, and hopefully their leg could get better. But I think they're still in a good spot.
Yeah, I still keep them pretty high up in my top tier, my top five. I think they're going to end up going the distance. I really do believe that.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
they have a stability. They've had that stability since the very beginning, and I felt very strongly that I could see them ending up in top five. Who knows? They may even win the thing. They have what it takes to win too. They have what it takes to win.
I mean, listen, I would not be surprised if they do win, but they're still not my number one choice.
Oh, we know what your number one choice is.
Exactly. Yep.
Is it them? Is it them?
Oh, here you go.
All right. So here we go. Here we go.
I will say this. I am impressed, although I knew they were just around the corner to get eliminated. It was either gonna be them or Glinda and Luwamba. But she did not really complain this episode, so I was very impressed by that. You could roll. Listen, you can have your eyes big all you want. She wasn't as bad as she was last episode, and she even did the physical challenge where I thought they were going to go do the puzzle. She ain't complaining about it. She just did it. And when she walked up the stairs, hey, it's over. So she actually didn't say I quit. That's all what you wanted. She finished it. Now she get to go home. So what's the problem?
Uh, Twitter has a problem. Twitter
What
has
what
a big problem.
what did Twitter? What does Twitter say that
So because I was so bored, I'm just gonna tell you the truth. This episode just didn't really seem very intriguing to me. I got so bored that I ended up going into the Twitter deck, and I decided to go and find the hashtag the amazing race or hashtag amazing race. And the conversation was totally about Sharik. As a matter of fact, there was a news article that was published from last week's episode that was solely dedicated to her. And really how the fans have basically turned against her and that she's lost a lot of that support they initially had. And mostly because she really, even in this episode, and I'll point him out in a second, in this episode as well, it's just like she was just really thinking about herself. It really wasn't about like, even if it was about her dad, she said it was about her dad. The reason why she continued was about her dad, but like she literally just put it all on him. I mean, the poor guy, he was like struggling getting the water. Like she wasn't lifting a finger, like she didn't
no,
attempt to help.
no. I ain't gonna let you go there.
She didn't
No,
attempt to help. She just stood there.
that
Everybody
is
noticed
not
it.
true. That is not true. Me and you ain't seen the
Oh,
same
I
episode.
disagree. This is where we disagree. And Twitter disagrees with you too on that one.
No, listen. First off,
She was the worst.
you already know she's not very good with physical challenges. We know that. So for them to actually choose a physical challenge, A, I'm shocked that she actually did it. Now you could say how much she contributed one way or the other. For the fact she did not complain, I did not hear her one time saying, "You do it, you're on your own." She may have carried one jug, and
She
he carried
absolutely did
two.
it. She absolutely did it the first challenge. That she
So
literally opened the card and was like, all you.
Who wants to search for metal? But hey, listen.
She's been doing that the entire time.
But hey, even with that, all right, I was surprised how engaged she still was in it. Like saying it's a shame I can't help because most of the clues are in the middle of where they were searching. And her
No,
father was on the outside.
that was not compassion. That was she was literally on the sidelines throwing darts. Like, why is he all the way over there?
What's the problem?
She was literally complaining. It's like, if you could have done better, why didn't you do it?
Because first off, you don't know what the challenge is. All you hear is a title. And we already know how she struggles with challenges. But I guarantee you, if she would have known what the challenge was and what it entails, she would have did it. But for the fact, that's why she
No.
said, hey,
You
is
can't
it
complain from the sidelines. You didn't do it, so you just need to shut up. That's basically
hey,
what needs to happen.
but she wasn't the only one talking about it. It was the other female, other woman was doing the same thing.
Well, the other person actually contributes to her teamwork. Like,
Oh,
she's not sitting
here,
on the sidelines. You don't hear her complaining as much as
oh,
Sharika.
here
So
we go.
I'm just
See,
saying,
see,
like,
see. These
you
are
can't
these
just
are
sit there and join the bandwagon when
These
you're
are
the one that
feelings
hasn't been
being
carrying
carried
the
over
weight
from
the entire
last
time.
week. These are listen. I wasn't a huge fan either, but I'm gonna give credit where credit is due.
There's no credit due here.
I'm just happy that she actually finished it. She
No,
didn't say I quit. I'm ready to go home. To
I'm sure
me,
she did.
that is a win in my book.
I'm sure she did. And there's something called editing, and I'm almost positive, because it really wasn't about her this episode, although they did try to highlight it a little bit. I'm almost certain she was complaining.
Well,
Almost
you
certain.
know
No
what?
way.
Listen, all I know is we didn't hear it. So you can talk about editing, producers, what have you. I ain't hear it. I saw her
She
trying.
did complain. She complained on
I
video
saw
too.
her trying to the best of her abilities, and
No,
that's all what you can ask
I didn't
for
see any trying.
in a teammate. It's like,
Absolutely not.
hey, you know what? You tried.
Not at
Now,
all.
I ain't gonna hold you. If me and you on the show and I'm doing all the work,
That's gonna
and
be a
then
problem.
then you watch the replay and I hear you talking smack from the sidelines,
That's gonna be a
we gonna
problem.
we gonna have a problem. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's right.
like, but hey, I believe she do and he do what he signed up for, and for the fact that she at least finished and did it with him, I'm okay with it. We knew they weren't going to last long. All right, we never really picked them to be
That's
in
true.
your top five.
That's
All
true.
right,
Yep.
so my thing is, what's the problem? We knew they had to get eliminated. It was close in terms of who I wanted, but this is no surprise.
No, it's true. It's true. But I tell you what, when she gets back home, she's gonna have a lot of apologies to
Well,
be
I would
made.
like to know what sports she did because she said she did competitive cheer and she did sports all throughout high school. And she said this was harder than all that combined. Now, being a former athlete myself, I need to have a conversation with her as to what sports did she play because I don't see it in terms of the mental toughness, the
That's right.
strength, the endurance. I need to know what sports were you involved for you to say this was the hardest thing you have had to do out of all your years being competitive in sports.
Maybe she was sitting on the bench.
Hey, then we need to talk
I'm
because
just saying.
I
Maybe she actually
listen.
wasn't out there competing. Maybe she was just
I
on the team, you
I
know?
that now listen, that stuck out to me. Like I need to know what you actually did because there's no way what you went through for this could not be as difficult as what you did in high school and competitive sports.
Well, and at the end of the day, whether she was a bench warmer or not, this does not sound like a team player to me. An
Well,
athlete does not come in with this type of mindset.
to your point with the mindset, I never hear my dad taught me we don't say I quit
Yeah.
and we don't say I can't.
Yep.
All right. We those are two phrases we never say in our household. And we learn that through sports. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. What sports were you playing? and what teams were you on to actually develop that type of mindset? Because I've never heard it. Like, we got on people who didn't give 100%. We got on people who said that I quit or I can't do it. We're like, yo, why are you here?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we had a phrase at UConn: go hard or go home. Like, if you ain't willing to put in 100%, don't be on this field and don't be on this team. So
Yeah.
for her,
I think she made it up.
I didn't like that comment. I will say that I didn't like that comment about, all the years combined was easier than what she went through for a week or two.
Yeah, that mindset was really off for me. So anyway, if you would like to see what I tweeted about, you can follow me at DBrackeen.
Go ahead, get your followers up. I see you.
And
I see you.
and you can follow everybody else just by looking at the hashtag Amazing Race. It was wild. It was wild. It actually was a good time. I'm excited to get back on Twitter to see what's going on.
Oh goodness, you gonna stir the pot.
Oh yeah, we're gonna stir the pot. Oh yeah, we're gonna do that. So anyway, we spent a lot of time on them. Glad they're gone. Now you can get back to what you were saying before.
Oh yeah, see the whole name it and claim it. I got to bring it to my church one day because hey, they dreamed about it, manifested it, and I'm shocked, but it's like they breezed through everything this week. I was thoroughly impressed, and they wanted to make a move, and they did. Now let's see, can they keep that same intensity of fire next week?
Yeah, that was really impressive. I definitely have to give it to them. They clearly have what it takes to move on, but I wonder if they can sustain it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That's all what it comes down to. Can you sustain that level of intensity, that level of commitment? And sometimes, you know what, you may find a particular leg that you just dominate. And then, as you can see with the sisters, they won, last week and coming fifth this week. So it just varies. But that competitive spirit, that fire, that desire, that's the first time I really saw them go for it in this particular season. And it was really a sight to see, and I like to see more of it.
Absolutely. And all right. Go for it.
Listen, if I'm going to lose, I'd rather say, you know what, I lost because I lost. Yeah. Nobody else. Those dudes, they could do whatever they want. All right, they could have done the puzzle. They thought the camel caravan would be easier. Realized it was difficult, but they got through it and they took third. It just goes to show you these brothers did not come to play. All right, even when they mess up, even when they actually choose the wrong challenge, they still come through and they still deliver. That's the type of team I need.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I was actually questioning whether or not it was the right decision to go do that challenge. And of course they would do that challenge, right? I mean, they always tend to kind of lean toward the more physical because they can actually have the ability to do it.
Have you met them? Have you seen them?
Yeah, I don't blame them. I don't blame them, right? Like, I mean, it actually made sense strategically for them. But in the long run, I think they do need. And actually, let me back up. There was something they said very key in the beginning of this episode that actually really solidified it for me to be as almost sure as you are. I'm not sure that they're going to win, but I know they're going to be top three. Like that is clear for me at this point.
Being disrespectful right now.
They go.
name two other teams that are better than them right now.
I just don't know. I just
no.
They determined for me that if they keep choosing the physical route versus the potential of looking at the long run, like could they have made an easier, quicker decision to do the puzzle versus the more physical. I don't know.
See
I don't know that they
what
would have
helped.
known that, but they tend to defer on the like more physical challenges, which I don't blame them. Again, I don't blame them, but they gotta have to diversify it at some point in order to play like the strategic game versus.
I think for them, it comes down to how fast can they get it done.
Mm.
And you know what? It's not a matter of if they can't do a challenge. They're looking at it as to how fast can we complete it. And so when they looked at the puzzle versus the physical challenge, they're like, hey, we could just go in and bang this out real quick and be on our merry way.
That's true.
It was really those 3 jugs,
Yep.
those small jugs that they had to use to actually fill up, that particular can, what have you. That slowed them down because of the
Right.
distance they had to travel and then not
Yep.
be able to take back so much water. I mean, that's what
Right.
really killed their time. But I think they
Right.
made the right decision. Hey, listen, we can do anything you put in front of us. We can yodel. We can do the musical challenge. We can actually, do the sculptures. Whatever you need done, we can do. But it's just how fast can we get it done? How fast can we complete it? So for me, I think they just realized it was going to take longer than what they anticipated. And that could be the difference for them between first and second.
Right. And I really was really impressed when they talked about what they do after they debrief each race.
Now, see,
I
that
was really
sounds like
impressed.
you.
Hmm?
That would be you.
Oh, there's no question. Well, and honestly, that's kind of why they're in the top 3 for me, because it's clear that they're looking at the play. It's like, okay, what
I
went wrong?
I
What
I
went
I,
right?
I can see you right now that whoever your partner is, they gotta come to your room and you're gonna review the whole day. And you're gonna go from A to Z as to what went right, what went wrong. Give a little bit of constructive criticism, give some positive affirmations. But I'll tell you right now, if me you ever team up, I'll be the one leading that meeting. All right, Daryl, tell you right now, you better actually help me out. It's about to be a problem.
Yeah, no, strategy is the best way to and reflection. And that way, how do you get better? That's how you are able to sustain it. Although I must admit, you can tell there's some background tension that's growing because they're so super competitive that's like they may be nitpicking on things that they really don't need to because they're actually doing all right. They're doing all right.
That's what champions do. They pay attention to
True.
details. Michael Jordan scoured the magazines just to find any clipping that talked about the Bulls or his game, and he used it as fire. That's the team I need right there. So, hey, listen, y'all could talk about Draymond Green, Jordan Poole all you want, but that's what champions do. Champions get in each other's face. They hold each other accountable. Hey, sometimes you come to blows, but that means you know what? Y'all want this bad, and that's what I need. I need that energy.
That's right. I agree. I can't disagree with that. So they did their thing. They didn't, they showed up. To be quite honest, I don't even know what place they showed up in.
They took third.
Oh, okay.
They
All
they,
right.
they took third because
Okay.
of the camel caravan. And see, here's the thing. I think that's not fair about that challenge.
I agree.
Because after they did the water, the stacks of hay was easy. Grab 4 bags, bring it down. That was easy. But for them to bring the camels over to feed them and to make sure they drink the water, I thought that wasn't fair.
Right. There were clearly a time issue built into that. So that could have been like, again, I just really don't think there was great planning in this episode. That's just that. Yeah, so I agree. It wasn't fair. I agree. But it clearly didn't matter. They came in third place. A lot that I didn't even see them come in third place.
Yeah, that's how fast they are. Because you always see them getting out the way. But nah, listen, they're always going to be in the top 3, top 4, no matter what.
Yeah. And you can see why. You can see why. And then we have Quentin and Maddie. They were quite quiet this episode.
They got the job done.
They got it done. I don't have much to say, but they got it done.
They got it done. I think they took sixth or seventh, I want to say.
Okay.
But listen, they lived to race another day.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Just play the long game. Look, if you can't be the best at it, play the long game. That's the next best strategy. I agree.
So, but let's go back to them real quick.
Sure.
See, this is where going back to your whole Twitter escapade, about Sharik and talk about them, her doing all these, sports, what have you. They're competitive cheerleaders.
Yeah.
And yet they're doing well. They're actually meeting the adversity. They're meeting the challenge. So I'm just showing you the discrepancy between the mentalities, between Sharik and those who actually are in cheer for a professional sports team, NFL team at that. So no, you can't put it off on sports. Nah, you just really didn't do what you needed to do.
I strongly agree. There's no way that she was a competitive athlete. This is no way. This is not how athletes are conditioned, especially even in high school. You don't even need to be a professional, but even in high school, there's some certain characteristics that athletes carry in terms of, especially that mindset. And you don't lose that, by the way. That's not like something you lose over time.
No, you can't turn it off like a light switch. It's always embedded in you, how you live your life. And real quick, going back to the brothers, I love their motto for CAR: complacency, adversity, and resiliency. I thought that was beautiful. Saying we ain't gonna get complacent. We're going to meet all the adverse challenges, and we're actually going to be resilient. We're going to overcome everything. Hey, I need that CAR, baby, CAR. I like that.
It sounds like Sunday sermon.
Stay tuned, Daryl. Stay tuned.
I will. I want to be looking too. So this has been another amazing episode of the Amazing Race Recap here on BrackeenTV. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and we'll continue to do this until the very end. If you have any suggestions, ideas, questions, comments, feel free to email us at djbjmotivationalmedia.com. All right.
Real quick, as you go through your whole wrap up, did you catch like the next scenes from next week's episode?
I did not. I immediately jumped over here. So what are we looking at?
Somebody got COVID.
What?
Yeah. So they showed that clip at the end where Phil was FaceTiming the person saying that you tested positive for COVID, and that's how it ended.
Whoa. Well, we'll stay tuned. We need to figure out who that is. Maybe I can
hop on Twitter and find that out, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna know before the episode airs.
Oh, so and when I do, believe me, actually, I might just do a breaking news and try to catch the wave. But we're gonna keep this going. Please like, share, and again, follow us on BrackeenTV. We will be here, same time, same place. Peace.